Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, also published on Rumble, which yesterday I did manage to upload only now the prey during the morning period, because I don't know if something from like Middle Eastern servers or something like that. I could not access the site itself. Some like from time to time, like once or twice per month, I get this kind of a thing here. I assume it's like localized in my region, but yeah, now it's uploading at the moment, so later you will have access to this one on Rumble, and then again re-uploading the Voidbusters gameplay series, and afterwards XCOM 2 and all that good stuff until it catches up with YouTube stuff. In YouTube, again, you get the archive posting on Blogger and also on Patreon for extra support. I cannot promise anything regarding gameplay series, regarding especially XCOM 2. Supposedly it's the next video on the gaming series stuff. Again, Pop is almost wrapping up, but still it's got still a lot of stuff to do. Every day something new appears, like with some urgency, and I don't know. At this moment, I managed to keep doing basically the daily videos, but yeah, yeah, I think that's it basically from the channel stuff. Yeah, let's go to the news. I remember covering this a while back. I don't know, beginning of the year, something like that. I'm not sure. I remember I covered this, the new like memory standards regarding a mobile device that they were trying to implement, which is instead of SO-DIMM, it's a CAMM2. Basically, CAMM stands for compression attached memory models. As you can see, the SO-DIMM, which is usually you see on in terms of interface and how it's built, the memory itself. This kind of thing you usually see on laptops when it's not completely soldered to the board, which usually happens on Apple's products, especially laptops. But yeah, the new kind of way of manufacturing this thing is supposedly it gets higher capacities, higher speeds, and massive space savings, and to that effect it saves also energy. I remember covering kind of this thing here, and yeah, we had to wait because at the moment was Dell, if not mistaken. Yeah, it was the first one to show this back in CES 2022, so almost 2 years ago. But then they now basically are pushing this to an open standard. This is way. So far, I only see advantages on this one, because you can get with less space, you can get thinner stuff. Space, 3D space itself, as you can see, you can make thinner stuff there. Kind of because it's not only the modules. You got, for example, in laptops you got the SSDs, which now you have NVMe's, but you got like the speakers or something like that, the cooler stuff. Usually it's a little bit more thicker than the SO-DIMM, but at least in like pads, tablets kind of a thing there, you might manage to get a little bit more thinner there, except for the battery. Usually it's also a little bit thick. But yeah, in terms of power consumption, it is also very. I don't know if it is half, even though the voltages here are not the huge thing. Usually it's a CPU and GPU and the screen that takes most of the battery drain there. But yeah, and the fact that it is easily repairable and replaceable also. As you can see, advantage over is the fact very thin. That's what I've been talking. It's great for both consumers, bigger capacities, higher speeds, and manufacturers, repairs, etc. It's much easier to do so. And basically, with they implemented DEC. I'm not sure what it stands for. They didn't explain it here. I think it's like a consortium of sorts. Paves the way. It's a slim model, has contacts being pressed with a bar that's found between the module and the motherboard, so it can be placed even closer by the fact that the way it connects to the board can be even closer to the CPU, which is, we usually know, the more things are together, especially in electronic kind of things, especially in these high-end capacities, the better, because it's less time travel that the electricity has to travel, or the electrons have to travel to to communicate between the components there. That's why usually you see on even in desktop you have the CPU, then almost next door you got the memory there, because the closer the memory it is, the less latency the system has, and then almost to a certain degree you got below that the primary GPU stuff, the slot that you have to put in, and of course all the capacitors are next to the CPU socket. That's why this one, by the fact that it can be put a little bit closer to the CPU and CPU, which basically manages everything. I think we will not see like a revolutionary thing in terms of speeds, but at least we got the possibility of being larger capacity in terms of memory. So there will be less constraints regarding that supposedly. And yeah, and the fact that he can save a little bit on the consuming energy there, it's also good, which also means lower temperatures, and yeah, and more speedy. So the systems will have less latency. So you might see I don't know, better laptops by the fact that we have this kind of system in place, because the memory modules will be compatible with it's going to be DDR5 or LP DDR5X variants. LP, it's for the cell phone stuff, if not mistaken. So all around seems seemingly good news. This will, I don't know, next year we might start to see, I don't know if this CES we might see any kind of prototype already with this implementation of CAMM. Hopefully so. Because the memories, as I covered before yesterday, the chips of memories will start to rise up, and if you can at least lower a little bit, because I think even in terms of manufacturing process, I think it can be a little bit more cheaper, so less board, so it's less area to manufacture. I don't know if it has something to do with that, but yeah, hopefully we get to see this implemented here. And yeah, that's basically my main takeaway. Hopefully next year CES we might see at least one or two prototypes of some products. I don't know from Dell if you see any laptop or any kind of those all-in-one PCs kind of a thing there. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, good news. Regarding not good news but not good news, it's the covering that this game, if you can call it that, the day before thing. Yeah, the saga now is concluded. Basically, this happened. I covered, yeah, yesterday the fact that it didn't have basically a lot of people playing the game, and it's not a multiplayer survival game. It's basically an instruction shooter similar to Division, like the dead zone or the danger zone or black zone or whatever it's called, that area on the multiplayer side there. Yeah, and it's not a good game by any means of the imagination. It's a very bad game. The sound is syncing all over the place. It seemed that they were trying to make it feel that the game was crowded with background noises of firearms being fired with noises like that. So might induce in thinking that the area itself was with players going around here and there for shooting guns. And no zombies, the loot didn't serve anything. Supposedly, there was a lot of gameplay issues there. Also, very stuttery, very low graphic quality. It was a mess. But something that was cobbled up very quickly to try to justify that they had a game there, and the fact that they used a lot of assets that in the marketplace, which by itself it's not bad, but it's how the game itself in the final presentation just gives basically a presentation of being rushed through, so they can say they have a game. And the fact that this game had the hype that it had, I blame a lot IGN, because IGN was pumping up this thing, even though by the end of the day they just give it a 1 out of 10. They made like a review. I saw on my Twitter feed one of the reviews there. That's why I usually don't follow up too much. But this game Garden at the time that was announced around 2021, a lot of hype. I don't know why. The footage seems okay, but then again, you never know. With this kind of multiplayer games, people have to contend that in terms of graphic fidelity, usually it's not possible to have a big one unless you go for a clear art style, similar like Fortnite. You get that art style there, and you can then try to improve with that. But in terms, if you go for a realistic approach in terms of graphic wise, you cannot expect a lot, mainly because of how servers deal with the information there, and the fact that the game has to be very snappy, so less delays and system lag possible, so the communication between the servers have to be very snappy, so that's why. Regarding the inputs of the player to the server. But yeah, overall, the update regarding that was that they basically closed doors, Fntastic or whatever they call themselves here. They closed doors, they just threw out the Twitter, you got the quote here, I'm not going to read this through. Basically, it's a lot of... basically, it's a scam. What can I tell you? For all the signs, even though I didn't follow too much on this game, like very closely, but the information that I've been basically seeing from this game, it just screams scam all over the place. From the fact that even they were accepting volunteers to work on the game for free, that is not a good ethic in terms of how you produce a game. I don't know how you can deal. It's not a charity thing, but yeah. These kind of things, then they promising and delays and excuses all over the place. But yeah, 4 days this game lasted on Steam here. Basically, they say that they had to justify this, that they have some debts, then they have to basically cash out any kind of earnings. To pay debtors to a certain degree, and the fact that it's very hard to make video games and all those things that like very broad strokes excuses here. But this article was updated very recently regarding what Valve decided to do, was basically delist the game from Steam. While the Steam page is up, you can no longer purchase the game, and basically they are basically allowing people to refund even after the usual 2-hour limit, which is good. So if you're by any chance watching this video and you thought you cannot get a refund from the game, I assume you still can at the date of the publishing of this video. At least that's the information that we have here from this site, from WCCF Tech. But yeah, I suppose again, when these kind of things happen, especially with early access, the fact that it just launched in early access gives them usually the leeway of not supporting the game by any, or don't give a crap's ass to people regarding support, or continue to develop the game by itself. But yeah, they took advantage and basically close their doors, whatever they do. What's that called? These guys will appear again with another name, with another brand, and with another game to be hyped for. I assume they managed to get around to get what they wanted, because I assume Valve keeps the money to a certain degree until like behind the scenes financially. I don't know how it deals. If after by the end of the month, then they can have the money that supposedly Steam charge and all that stuff. I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but I assume Steam doesn't give right away the money if a sale is made on the game itself. I assume that they don't work like that, because I assume they're not dumb, especially with this early access stuff here, and the fact that you might launch a game in early access and then just like 1 week after, if their sales might try to shut off the thing and try to keep money. I think Valve always keeps their hands close on the money before doing anything. That's why I think they also are able to do the refunds like this even after the 2 hours. But yeah, again, at the end of the day, this is only going to hurt other independent creators that ever tried to do a good game. And usually the better way of doing this thing is trying to get like an early access kind of a thing there. Not early access, it's early access. I forgot what Steam has, but I think it's early access. You know what, if you're listening, you know what I mean. for them to at least put like the base game there and try to improve it. Usually independent developers need this kind of feedback from the players itself, because they don't have a corporate structure to have Q&A at a large scale. That's why usually it works like that, and we have kind of a trust, a relation of trust trying to be built there. And they use the platform there. It's huge one, like Steam. And this just basically, this situation just erodes that kind of trust that people might have, and trying to make an investment of independent developer and launching a game through Steam through this platform of early access kind of a thing there. It's a negative there also. That's my main takeaway, because scammers will always exist in every area where humans interact with each other. But yeah, the fact that even big outlets from IGN, it's the one that pops in my head a lot when regarding this game, because they pumped a lot. Even they did a live stream for the I think for when the game was available in early access. I think they did a live stream with that, which is kind of insane if you think about it. Even after all, everybody was writing, even from other outlets, writing for people to have some precaution, and these people just keeping pumping up because it's something that gives them clicks. That's why, again, independent news sources don't go, especially IGN, to a certain degree, GameSpot a little bit there, but IGN is very clickbaity on their things when trying to hype up stuff, and always, even with other outlets, even independent or corporate, take it always with a grain of salt. Always with a grain of salt, because you never know if they're being paid in the background, or it's just a thing for them to get clicks, and they don't care giving like full information or give some precautions to the people that are following them. But yeah, this is not good overall for the market overall in terms of independent developers there. But yeah, enough about this rant. Hogwarts Legacy seemed to be one of the top games searched in Google this year. Again, mainly because of the drama that a lot of people trying to put out in the game. Again, the IP itself, for me, I enjoyed the movies and the universe by itself. The IP itself, I don't have any issues with that. And the fact that also the fact that we have like the keyboard warriors regarding all the things regarding how the J.K. Rowling's kind of whatever they call them, turf or whatever it's to a certain degree it's obnoxious, because when people start to distort what people say, and yeah, they're just trying to cancel out a game that was basically one of I think it's still like top game in terms of sales this year, almost reaching 20 million units in terms of sales, which is not $20 million, it's 20 million copies sold. They reached 1 billion plus. I think this was updated a few weeks later after the earnings call, so like a few months after this. So at least 1.5 billion for sure in terms of sales. When you try to cancel something, usually you get in certain situations you get the Streisand effect, which is you just bring awareness to the situation, and when you try to be spiteful regarding the fact that even the game developers didn't have to do anything with this, is they tell them to do this job, and they did the job the best they can, and they were very passionate about the project. They liked the IP. They didn't want to involve in anything regarding what the creator of IP said or didn't say or whatever. It's about the game and the universe itself that matters in this case, because even the supposedly statements from J.K. Rowling, they were not they were taken out of context, if that much, or at minimum, and in the worst they were really almost libeled because I think she did. I think she sued or threatened to sue people for libel because they were really trying to not even misquote. They're trying to libel the woman. But yeah, again, seems pretty good game. It's one of those that I will try out when I can. Just wait for another deal because I have a lot of gaming to catch up. So if there is no urgency, I don't need to buy it because the next deal will be a little bit more cheaper. But yeah, I will try. I always try to buy at full price when I can. But at the time, I still have a lot of games to go through. So until I catch up with everything. I will not buy at the moment, but it's still on my wish list for sure. And it's one of those games that I recommend because it's one of those that I will play for sure. In other news, we got Crimson Desert. This one seems a little bit interesting, the Crimson Desert game, because supposedly it was an MMO at one time, and then they changed directions for an open world kind of RPG thing here. And the fact that when you try to build a game as an MMO, supposedly the game will be big in terms of scope, and the fact that they try to turn this into open world, I assume RPG. Yeah, but it supposedly is, according to some insider information or something, or rumors, let's say, it seems to be that it's been delayed to almost a year. There's some quotes here from this person here. I don't know which kind of person this is because it's the naming here. Yeah, this guy, Kim Jin-gu, researcher for Guillaume Securities, was quoted saying, there was a delay about a year in the release on Crimson Desert, which exceeded 3 to 6 months acceptable in the market, and also some recommendations from the same guy. Okay, it's the same name. Okay, surname. Okay, they urge Pearl Abyss, which is the game developer, to communicate the game's release date to the investors itself. So basically, when I get a little bit delay here on this game, I'm not sure if there is a Steam page on this one, but it's one of those that I'm being following up, Crimson Desert, because there is kind of a prequel or something setting in the same universe, the MMO that this guy's released. Oh my god, Pearl Abyss, which is Black Desert Online, and supposedly Crimson Desert is set on the same universe. I think Desert Online is a good game from MMO standards, but yeah. We'll see how it goes. I will keep again my eyes on it, but yeah, we might see only this like in 2 years time, this game, but yeah, I will keep my eyes on it. I'll let you know any kind of news that I have. And lastly, we got Liza Pi, free winter festivals, free stuff here from the game, which include Midwinter's Night's Red Nose, Ernest Reindeer Antlers, Winter Festival Peaked Head. It's just some stuff here, which is always kind of a good thing to do in this kind of festivities and kind of this stuff. Just put something extra free. It's always picks up the interest, and I don't know, people will like for sure. Supposedly these items will be in equipment bag menus. Also some improvements on Japanese translation, and they are still working on the Mac version of the game, which for me, I don't care about Macs. They are not good for gaming for sure. In overall terms, there are certain situations that can be pretty decent there, but yeah. Game is good. Again, when it comes out in promotion, I always try to make it sure that it is on my gaming deal stuff here. And that's where we're going to finish up here, which is with some gaming deals. We got Children of Morta, 75% off. Again, it's got some co-op stuff. It's not multiplayer, I think it's more co-op. So roguelike with hack and slash, isometric view, pixel art style. No need to say more. It's one of those that I will for sure be doing at least play by my own. We got Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, 60% off. The deluxe edition has the content DLC. I think it's better. And you got, if you want, the Miasma Chronicles, which is from the same developers. And the gameplay is very similar, even though the story and the world setting is different. It's got 32% off, even though at the moment I think the Road to Eden Deluxe Edition, at least is their first kind of big game that they had. It's very interesting, and if not sure, you always have the demo here, which is always a good thing to have here. We got also Shardpunk, again, tactical RPG in terms of combat, very similar to XCOM, and yeah, turn-based tactics. I think the main thing is you're trying to get away out of town, and the base is basically you set up a camp and then you do all the character stuff involved, the abilities and all that jazz. And if you are in doubt, you always have the demo here, which again, always a good thing, and it's 25% off. The game is from this year, so the percentage is not huge, but it's a very relatively cheap game. I think it's a good buy here. We got also Slay the Spire, one of those that overwhelmingly positive roguelike deck builder. Again, card game, but it's very, very, very interesting how they went about it. And this is one of the good examples of early access. I always forget. Again, I assume it's early access. I will, until the end of this video, I will be saying early access. They received a lot of feedback from the players, and also they were implementing afterwards the first. When the game was launched there, they implemented more classes there. This one and one seems like a robot kind of a thing there. So 66% off. Again, this is one of those that if you kind of like this kind of game, you need to try it out. We got also Guardians of the Galaxy, pretty good game. In terms of story, more based on the comic book characters with their own interpretation, and the gameplay seems pretty good. The story seems great, and the interactions between the characters, it's also good from all the reviews that I saw. And it's 75% off, which is always a good thing here. We got also Red Dead Redemption 2. We got 67% or 70% for the base and Ultimate Edition. Pretty cheap. Again, the GTA 6, it's based on this engine with some improvements, of course. There have been some news that they remade the GTA trailer in this engine, and they see noticeable difference. Okay, whatever. But this game is pretty good. It's one of those that I would like to try out. It's one of those that I'm going to spend a lot of hours for sure, because I like to look at every corner in the game to check what's happening and try to see the most activities there. But yeah, one of those that eventually I will get through it. And last you got Dredge, again nominated and won one award on the Game Awards edition, the Game Awards of this year, the best indie game or something like that. Not this is from the Steam, but I think they. Yeah, I think they won Indie Game of the Year, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I got mistaken, but they got nominated. It's still a very excellent game, very Lovecraftian. And we got the DLC, not the DLC, the collaboration with Dave the Diver. I think it's content from the dead, from this game on Dave the Diver. At least that's, I think I was corrected, and I think this is how it happens. The Dave the Diver game will have content from the Dredge inspired. It's a collaboration between them. But yeah, it's one of those very interesting Lovecrafting. The story is very weird, but very good. And yeah, guys, for today this is it. I'm just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. The extra support will be for storage. For me to be able to have backups, so backups for other projects that I do for my private clients, and also some storage, extra storage for the videos that I do for the channel. And at the moment, it's my main preoccupation regarding any kind of support possible. And with all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.